It's the NFL on EA Sports, where division rivals will clash in the AFC North. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, and it's all up next.
From just off the shores of Lake Erie, EA Sports brings you coverage of the NFL from Cleveland Browns Stadium in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Today, we've got a good one on tap in the AFC North, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cleveland Browns. Brandon Gaudin, joined as always by my partner, Charles Davis. Charles, these Browns, no other way to say it, they took a step back last year. What do you think that they need to do to get back to the playoffs while competing in a tough AFC North?
They need to get back to the identity that their head coach established a couple seasons ago. A hard running game, consistent play from their quarterback, and then they have new management on the defensive side of the ball. They'll try and get after you in the pass rush.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, I think everybody seems ready to turn the page from 2022. A tough finish down the stretch. Some wacky plays in that loss to the Bengals in the wild card round. They just want to reset and come out swinging in 2023.
Oh, I love how you just expressed that. You're exactly right. Reset and come out and playing Ravens football again. And look, they had some anxious moments in the offseason. Now, a sigh of relief. They have their key pieces in place. They're ready to attack.
Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And off we go from Cleveland. No run back here on the opening kickoff, as we'll start at the 25. Now the Cleveland offense ready to go to work behind the three-time Pro Bowler Deshaun Watson in his second season now as a Brown, number 7 overall.
Just 6 games played for Watson in his debut season with the Browns, which really limited how much he could step into the franchise quarterback role for the team. But he gets a full slate to do so this season. Remember, his last year in Houston, over 4,800 yards. They expect excellence from him.
They come up with exactly 1 minute to go in this first quarter. First play, Watson to the air. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. The handoff to Ford up the middle. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Back to throw, Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the 1st down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
Now Watson. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. And running with power here. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Here's Watson. He finds his man complete. That's Ford. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there. They'll cover him for a loss of a yard. But looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Watson now to throw. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down. Watson. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
He was trying to get that one out to his running back out of the backfield, but that one was read and timed perfectly, and they were able to break it up.
Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. Hopkins' kick is good. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Ravens offense set to go to work, and it's Lamar Jackson now in his 6th NFL campaign who will lead the way.
All the talk of Jackson leaving the Ravens this offseason was just that. Talk, as the two sides hammered out a deal that made him the highest paid player in the NFL. And why would they want to separate? When he has the ball in his hands, great things typically happen.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we have reached halftime here in Cleveland with the Browns on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, back to you two in just a bit. But first, welcome everyone to downtown Orlando and our EA Sports halftime report. If you missed the first half, there's not much to get you caught up on. Just the lone field goal accounting for the entirety of the scoring. A 3-0 game to this point, as both defenses have been strong so far.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Just one field goal in a tightly played first half as we resume action here in quarter number 3. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. And maybe time for this offense to really hit the reset button. They were shut out in the first half, but still, they're right in this game.
They certainly are. What I like about it is that you actually continue to play. You know, you just find a way to make a few plays yourself, and you noted it. Right there on the border in this game, they're not that far off. Just got to find a play or two, and they could be very happy at that point.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. Those are the type of runs that we did not see from him in the first half, but a good start to the third quarter.
And I know what everyone's thinking that's watching this. They did a great job adjusting at the half. Oftentimes you don't make adjustments. You just dial into your game plan a little bit better, and maybe they're starting to make some headway.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews. And he's taken down inside the 30.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
This is 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Just over 30 seconds remain. Here's 2nd and 10 now. On 2nd down, it's Edwards. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. An incompletion, now a short pickup. That's not going to do it.
Yeah, you got to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, get set up, and aim downfield.
The dog pound barking as loud as they can here. 3rd down. Jackson working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And now the timeout call. So 5 seconds left, and a field goal would send us to overtime. So here comes Justin Tucker in a big spot. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and they will tie this game here in the final seconds. This hasn't exactly been a battle of one touchdown after the other, quite the opposite. But at 3-3 now here in the fourth, it's been an entertaining game considering just 2 field goals.
Yeah, is it really a football game now, or are we watching baseball? Because this feels like a pitcher's duel, doesn't it? Nice, intense, on the edge of your seat. Have you been scoring this one? A lot of strikeouts and ground balls in this one.
So overtime on the horizon, barring a wild finish here as the kick's away. Not enough. For all even, and to overtime we go.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
So it's the Browns who are going to get possession first here in overtime as the kick's away. And we will not see a return to start overtime. It'll come out to the 25-yard line. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. I cannot imagine how these players and coaches feel, Charles, because my palms sweating up here in the booth now as we go to the third drive of overtime. And as we know from here on out, any points win this football game.
I'll throw you a towel as well, partner. I've got one for myself, but let's face it, our nerves, our pressure, nothing compared to what's going on that field. Both of the field goal kickers active here early. Can one of them become the hero and end this thing?
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. He wasn't able to really get anything going in regulation. Maybe it'll be a little different story here in overtime.
And it appears that with that call, they want to establish the run in overtime, try and set the tone for what they're going to get done. And you're right, maybe it didn't work so well in regulation. Overtime could be the charm. And by the way, the yards count either way.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Again, they turn to Ford. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They run with Ford. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back.
Let's be smart. Let's be quiet. They can't stop.
2nd and 7. On the ground, it's Ford. Oh, what a nice tackle there. That will hardly move the needle at all offensively. A very short gain.
Hey, we're going to do what we do.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes at that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
And he would get a good amount of yardage back on 2nd down, but the clock still runs. One overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment. So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. First throw in OT for Watson. That is caught. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. He did not have a catch to that moment. Pretty good time for his first run, though, here in OT.
I would agree with that. And just think about how they had to cycle through all the play sheets, right? Trying to find ways to get a lot of people to football. In this case, as you said, he hadn't had a catch all game. Now they find him in a key moment. Really well done.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. They've had some success here in overtime on this opening drive running the football. Right back to that well.
And why not? When you have that kind of success, make them stop you. And until they do, keep going back to that well you just spoke about. I think there's more water there and available to them.
Watson. This is Akins hauling in the short pass. So he hooked up with the veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
This is Ford. Dances by at the 20. So the OT clock hits 0, and we're still not done. We'll switch sides and need at least one more OT to decide it after this. From the 17, here's 2nd and 4. To throw, Watson on the move to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
Coming up on a 3rd and 9. Opening drive of overtime as they look to convert. Watson to throw. Touchdown, Browns! Deshaun Watson on target to David Njoku.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmys and the Joes.
Connecting with Andrews. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And they're going to get another first down here up at midfield.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
Jackson. The throw out wide going to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Here's 2nd and 10. Jackson to throw. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing, Jackson. They're looking deep here for Flowers. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
A big call here in overtime. They're going for it on 4th down. Now Jackson. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. It would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. Another one in the books for his partner. Always great to be by your side. And look, both offenses, both defenses had some moments in this one, but I think you would agree these coaching staffs are also going to have some stuff to clean up on film.
Absolutely, partner, and let's face it, any game we get to watch from up here, it's going to be a blast. Do we want to get a real job? Absolutely not. Let's keep watching the NFL all season long.